Hi everyone and welcome back to the Brick Buds. You join me for the penultimate video in our Winter Village series. If you haven't checked out our other Winter Village videos, do have a look at our Winter Village playlist. This week we're looking at the Winter Village Cottage, set 10229, the Winter Village Market, 10235, and Santa's Workshop, 10245. So it might be a little bit of a long one this time because we've got 3 sets to look at. I will put in chapter markers if you want to skip to a particular set. These are all retired sets now, so you'll need to pick these up on the secondary market if you don't already have them. I have seen them on eBay recently, so they're definitely still it's definitely still doable. But maybe this will help you decide which one to go for first. So I'm going to do them in reverse chronological order. So we'll start with the newer set, which is the Santa's Workshop. Let's take a close look. Okay, so here's Santa's Workshop. This one came out in 2014 and retailed for about £60. Really, really nice set. The reason why this is one of my least favourites, I guess, is because it's quite a fragile set I found over the years. There's too many like grabby parts for sort of the reindeers and things, and they just seem to snap a lot. So a little bit disappointed with it from that side of things. But the details in it, there's a lot to see, so let's have a quick look. This was the first set actually that moved the Winter Village away from actually just being a Winter Village to more a Christmassy set. I think you could have got away with the previous ones being up for a longer time, but Santa's Workshop definitely makes it way more Christmas themed. It's got 6 minifigures in there, so we'll start with those. And actually, this is my favourite part, is the elves in this set. I don't know if you've seen my review of the Elf Clubhouse. You'll probably already know that I'm disappointed by how similar all the elves are. Obviously, they've got different faces, but the outfits are all exactly the same. So that's what I like about this one, is that they are very different. And if you've seen some of the other Winter Village sets, you'll see that these are all mainly reused parts. The tops and things are from other sets. They'll see them pop up in most of the Winter Village ones already. But at least it looks like they're not all the same. So I'll do 2 at a time. Just struggling to hold them. So Elf 1 and Elf 2, we got Super Happy Elf, we'll call him, with a sort of check shirt, red trousers, and the heads come off, or the ears come off with the hat, which I think is quite funny. No alternative faces, so that's that one. And he looks a bit like Grumpy Elf, I'd call him. He doesn't really have much of an expression. Just standard elf, I guess. And I'd say this is probably child elf. I think the freckles make him look a little younger than the others. And this is what I'd associate with an ice cream seller or something, or a fairground seller. I've seen quite a lot of use of this part in newer sets. But yeah, a good variety in the elves. There doesn't seem to be any sort of female elves like in the Elf Clubhouse, but I think they look really nice all together. Now, obviously, Santa's Workshop wouldn't be complete without Santa himself. So there he is. He's got some good sort of white eyebrows actually under there. And he's looking pretty happy under his beard, but you'd never know because it's quite a good full beard, as you'd expect from Santa. They can't really do the rotund belly as much, so it's just a normal minifigure. I like his hat. I think his hat's quite nice with the bobble. And then you've also got, I'm assuming, Mrs. Claus here. Taking a bit of the set with her. Pop that back. So she's got the nice white hair with the sort of fancy plaits at the back. A nice apron there where she's been baking whatever these are, cookies maybe. She's got some candy canes in her pocket as well. And a cape as well to keep her warm. And then some corset detail at the back. So they go nicely together. She's a little bit taller than Santa because she's got one of the taller style dress pieces. I do like the plate of cookies. I always like the little bits that have extra detail, so that's a win for me. So then, as well as all the elves, you've got animals in the set. So we've got 5 reindeers, and you can do a really impressive sort of scene here with the sleigh. I think if you watched our Winter Village Evolution video, you will have seen that at one point Ian had this strung up across the sort of sky in our Winter Village, and I really loved that. I don't know if that might be responsible for why it got so broken, but you've got sort of a standalone reindeer here. So that's obviously Rudolph with the red nose. He's missing an ear. Unfortunately, when I tried to do a bricks and pieces order to replace some of the broken pieces, Lego don't have any stock of that one anymore, so I'll have to do a Bricklink one to save on that. And then you've got the 4 normal reindeers, and they are slightly more fancy in that they've got printed backs. Are they printed backs? No. Yeah, no, they are printed. I don't think they're stickers. So it just gives them a bit more texture there. And they've got more impressive antlers, I would say. You can detach them from the reins if you want. I think the set comes with spare pieces to sort of fill in the gaps that you'd have left. I've lost all the contents of the sleigh, and that's quite a lot of the mini builds in this set are the little presents. So we've got a yellow one with a bow on top there. A green one, a little ribbon at the side. Bow. A magic wand, nice simple present, and also a guitar, and then a big blue one, and I feel like there's another one that's gone missing somewhere, a sort of a blue and red one. I can see it on the opposite side of the Lego room, so you'll just have to trust me on that one. So that vaguely all fits into the back of the sleigh. The sleigh build itself is quite nice. I'll show you it from this side because there's some missing pieces on the other side. We've missed missing one of these. But good shaping. Nice little lanterns on the back so that you can see where you're going. Although that's Rudolph's job, I guess. Maybe that makes it easier for Santa to find the right parcel in his sleigh. But yeah, it's a pretty nice build, the sleigh. Good colouring as well. Now, you've got the standard Christmas tree build that comes with all the Winter Village sets, and this is quite a diddy little one. Not very large at all, but I actually really like it. It's got a good amount of texture. Again, not enough colour variations, but because it's so small, I think you can get away with it. And the star on the top's quite nice. Yeah, it's a sweet build. And I think because you've got so much going on with the set, you don't really notice it. And I'm going to guess that Santa probably doesn't go all out for Christmas because he's not there. So a small Christmas tree is probably enough. I have noticed actually that this doesn't come with one of those... it doesn't come with a lamppost, which is a little shocking actually. I didn't realise that. I thought that every single one of these sets came with a lamppost, but you've still got some lighting. You've got obviously the ones on the back of the sleigh, and then you've got some built into the actual building itself. So you've got one on the side with the sign, and then there should be 2 little lights down here. I've lost one of those, or misplaced. I don't want to say lost, because things don't get completely lost forever. They just disappear for a bit. So there is still some lights. It comes with a really nice North Pole sign, which I really like. And actually with the Elf Clubhouse, which has a North Pole that way kind of sign, I make sure I put this in the right place in relation to that. So it makes sense. This is possibly one of my favourite parts of this build. And this is like the little toy making machine, I guess. It's got all these sort of dials and wheels and levers on the side, and some lights and things to sort of tell you if it's going wrong. A little bit that spins at the top as well. Some tubes. It looks very factory-esque. And then you've got on the conveyor belt two toys as well. So a little car, I think, and maybe a spaceship. But yeah, it's just so much detail on it, and it's a really nice mini build. So I like that one. So the building itself is at kind of a jaunty angle. You've got like the main bit, and then it goes down the side at a diagonal. And it doesn't connect very well anymore. It's got sort of a hinge here to keep that together, but that needs replacing. So the detail at the front, you've got a nice big clock, makes that look pretty impressive, sort of a key piece there. A good sticker on the Santa's Workshop sign. I think that's key here. I think you really need that sign. A couple of candy canes that you can pose a bit on the side, and then a very ornate front door. So you've got a decent sort of actual door, but then these pillars next to it, I think they're really, really pretty, and very sturdy looking, and then sort of cobbles coming down on both the doorways. It comes with a set of keys, little keys, to go in the doors, so you can actually get in, which is a nice detail. Let's bring this a bit closer. So this half has got, again, the pretty door, pretty windows, and those aren't actually window pieces. I think they're fence pieces. That's kind of a side-on build, so it sort of slots in there, so they don't open. But I think it looks nice. Some fairy lights on the top, and I find it odd that they've gone for yellow on those fairy lights. I guess maybe to stand out against the snow, but I don't think I've ever liked that part. I think it's just too yellow. So window on the side, missing light, but at the back the detail inside is quite nice. And let me show you it all as a whole actually, so you can get the angle. So that goes kind of like that. So you've got the front door with sort of steps down. There's Santa's sack in the way. Little steps down into the sort of second half. So that's quite nice. Gives it a little bit more variety. And then you've got an upstairs room, and there's a ladder that sort of attaches on, which should clip on, but again, a lot of these grabby pieces have degraded a bit. So we will come back to that one, and we'll have a look more at this. So you've got a little, I don't know if it's a workbench or a wrapping station maybe, or a painting station. You've got these 2 little pots that could be for painting, but you've got a nice light to work by, and then a sign on the side. That's a sticker piece that says Santa needs you. So I don't know if that's a recruitment drive maybe for the elves. So then the second one, get rid of the ladder. It's got a small build there of a little chair for Santa to sit on, and I quite like the way that this kind of feels a bit slatey, the back there. And then if you can see, a whole pile of letters for Santa to get through to see what people want. And he's going to need that mug of tea, I think, to get through those. So pretty good detail. And I think it's quite attractive. It sits nicely into the winter village. I just find it hasn't stood the test of time, and it's just a bit too fragile. So if you are going to pick this one up, expect some breakages or try not to move it too much. Just it's not a very playable set because of that, I think. But the details are lovely. Right, let's move on to the Winter Village Market. Okay, so this is the Winter Village Market. This is set 10235. It retailed for about £80, came out in 2013. And this is actually the set responsible for getting us into the Winter Village. So I have only good things to say about this. I saw it in the Lego catalogue that year, and I was like, we must have it. I mean, look at it. It's a thing of beauty. It's just got so much detail. It really sums up, I think, a Winter Village market to me. I like to go to the Christmas markets. I'm a bit sad this year that we're not going to manage to get to any of those because they're not happening. But it really makes you feel Christmassy. It had to be done. And the fact that it's interactive and very playable, just really helps. It does look a lot brighter than you can probably see on my screen, because ours has been out for seven years now. It's picked up quite a lot of dust in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, it's a shame, but I don't really know how to clean these cloth pieces. Maybe I could give them a wash. I don't want to risk it. So you can see there's quite a lot of bits to it. So there's 9 minifigures in this set, and actually once I just counted them and I was massively surprised it was that many. They seem to sort of be around six or so. So I guess £80, bought a couple of extra minifigures. So let's go through some of the minifigures. We've got 2 little children at the front here. This one's obviously been to a pretzel stand somewhere in the market. She's got the sort of freckly face that we saw on one of the elves earlier. Very odd coloured gloves, the little grey hands. I found that a little bit strange, but I think it does at least show that she's got gloves on, so it gives her a bit of variety. They don't all have gloves on, so it can't be too cold. And then the little boy, little beanie hat and a hoodie. Just a bit of a plain face there. We've got this lady with a really interesting hairpiece, actually. The shape of that fringe is interesting. And she comes with a little satchel piece. This one's not snapped yet, which is good. And then just a sort of grey torso with a neck scarf. And she, in the picture of this set, she's playing with this little cat. And she's actually doing that on the obligatory bench here, which we appear to have lost. We've got the lamppost, but we don't have the bench. So I'm a bit concerned where that's gone, but I'm sure it will turn up. Little guy in orange, and again, short legs, so I'm assuming child. He's got a hoodie at the back, which is a bit confusing because it doesn't really look like a hoodie from the front. It looks more like a jumper. Oh, no, sorry, a jacket. I guess you get hooded jackets, don't you? Who else have we got? We've got the stall sellers, so I'll come back to them as we go through each stall, I think, because that will be easier. So the first stall that you've got is kind of like the sausage stand or the barbecue stall. And they've all got nice little details on the top. This one's got some lights at the top to attract you, and a little chimney as well, so it's well built in. I don't know if this is a sort of temporary market. I don't know how you'd get that chimney in, but yeah, he's got a little grill at the back for his sausage to go on, and I think there's a chicken piece somewhere. I don't know where the chicken piece has gone. I did find the chicken piece. Just sits on this little ledge here. He's got some cups and a nice sausage there. And everything's nicely decorated, so you've got all these 1x1 round plates, round plates underneath to give it some colour, and lots of wreaths as well to make it more Christmassy. So there he is. Nice cap on there to keep him warm. The next one, I'm going to go with maybe a sweet stall. Just these lollipops, I think, make me think they're sweets. And again, slightly different shape of the hut, and that's what I like about this. There's a lot of variety in this set. A nice little awning there. Some wreaths again, just to make it clear it's the Christmas market. Some jars, a couple of little pots, and I like the sort of effect at the front. It kind of looks like a little wooden chalet there. So she's got a nice sort of plait hairpiece, nice scarf, and she's wearing gloves. She doesn't want to get cold, so. Then the third stall again has those 1x1s under there to give some colour, make it look a bit like bunting, I guess. And again, the wreaths on the top. This has got a diagonal stand because this is more like a bakery stall, I think. You've got some croissants and some cake and a pie as well. Good details at the side, little wooden bits. And so the little seller here, she's got quite a fancy top on. And some nice hair with a little sort of kick to it. Quite a nice fringe, actually. Quite like this one. So then you've got little stands for people to stand next to and put their food on. A couple of trees. I think there's 3 trees in the set. 2 little, 1 big. And then the main bulk of the build is on some plates to sort of keep it all together, which I like. I think it makes it easier to place this because it's sort of square. It goes into the city. It's ready to go, or into the village. Sorry. And so we've got another little stand here, and that's like a little game, like a fairground game. So you've got some, I guess, they're meant to be like balls, and you have to get them into the bucket at the back there. So you've got the little seller here. Let's oink him out. Oh. So he doesn't need a set of gloves because he's keeping himself warm with his massive beard. Something fell on the floor. Can't think what it was though. Oh, it's a bit of the decoration at the top here. One of those orange studs fell off. But this is all interactive, so you've got a little handle at the back here. Spin that round. And there go the pots. And you'll also notice the carousel is going round. I'll put that down so you can see that a bit better. Here we go. It's glorious. I think it's the best thing ever. It's definitely... Is it my favourite Winter Village set? I think it is. Every time I get this one out, I like. I can't help but love this one because it's just so charming. And it moves. I think that probably helps. And it's a really good build. I mean, this bit here, getting all the top attached, is really nice. I've got the Creator Expert carousel, but I've not put that together yet, so I'm going to guess it's probably a similar technique, but just on a smaller scale, so it feels a lot easier to maybe travel this one round. You got the 2 lampposts in here, standard lamppost build. So on the carousel you've got a nice horse, and I don't know if you were noticing that as you spin it, the horse does rock as if it's going round. Not overly noticeably, but enough, I guess, that you can see. So you've got a red horse on one side and a blue horse on the other. I've got another little minifigure here. So a little girl on the, I guess it's a car, little blue car. So she's got some, like a little bob haircut with quite a severe fringe, and she's got the freckly face as well. What else have we got on the other side? Ooh. That one looks a bit more like maybe a train. Put that up. It's definitely a carriage of some sort. And I think one of my favourite parts, apart from the colours actually, I don't like the colours of this bit in the middle. I think that looks really good because it's a carousel, it's got those lights, but I think they could have chosen nicer colours. I mean, the orange and the blue, they just don't really go with the red and the blue, I think. I think that's what bothers me. But apart from that, I think this set is perfect. Little rubbish bin, and there's also a teddy bear that you can win, because obviously there's no point in having a game if you can't win anything. So, little Lego teddy bear. It's just a beautiful set. It's definitely my favourite. I'm grateful to it for being so awesome and getting us into the Lego Winter Village quick enough that we didn't miss too many of them. Because, I mean, the toy shop, the bakery, the post office, they do look nice, but they're not as good as this. This was definitely the best they'd done up to that point. And I think possibly since as well. This is, like I say, it's my favourite, so... Okay, so that's the village market. Let's move on to the winter cottage. Okay, here's our final one. This is set 10229, the Winter Village Cottage, and this came out in 2012 and cost about £90. So this is quite an expensive build. And looking at some of the other sets, I'm not sure that it was really worth the price tag. Some of the others are I think probably more detailed and more fun. So I think it was quite a expensive purchase. So let's start with the peripherals again. We'll maybe start with some of the minifigures. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8 minifigures in this set, I think it is. 8 minifigures. So quite a lot of minifigures again. We'll start with the skiers. So there's 2 skiers in this set, both with yellow skis. This one's got... You're probably familiar with some of these torsos now because they're used quite often in these Winter Village sets, but the blue torso with the purple scarf. And some interesting hair. I actually didn't find this piece when I was looking for pieces for Hayley's hair. That would have made quite a good hair piece for Hayley, I think. Some poles, just black poles, and then the other one's got sort of more of a sort of ski jacket on, and a helmet. He's obviously more safety conscious. Maybe he falls down more often. Now, on the booklet, they have the skiers up near this igloo. And I find this small build a little bit strange for this set. I don't really understand why there is an igloo. The lid comes off. And there's a little owl on the top. The chimney should be a little higher as well. But it's a little bit of a weird addition. And I'm never really sure where to place this in our Winter Village. It just doesn't seem worth putting in sometimes. But I should probably show you there's a little stove in there. So maybe the skiers, that's where they go if they get stuck on the mountain or something. I don't know. It's just a little bit strange. So we've got, this is a fun scene. Sort of maybe the grandpa is pulling along the little boy on the sledge. And the grandpa's face is quite an interesting one because he's got that big bushy moustache. If you take his hair off, he's got big bushy eyebrows as well. But he's actually got an alternative face, and I don't know if you can spot the difference, but it's pretty similar. I think it's literally that that wrinkle on the forehead there, which kind of makes him look a bit grumpy. But the problem is, once you put his hair on, you can't even see the wrinkle. So I find it quite an amusing one, that one. I like his little jumper. Makes him look, he looks very granddaddy to me. And if you look at the back of him, his little moustache pokes out at the bottom. So he's pulling along, I assume, his grandson here, who's having a whale of a time, it seems. Oh, he's super happy. Until, I guess, it all goes wrong, and then he's not so happy. That's the saddest face I think I've ever seen on a minifigure. So, yeah, I'm going to keep him happy for now. And he's meant to have a little ball in the back of his sledge. But that's rolled away somewhere. And I quite like the way they've done the sledge. These are like two little spade pieces on the bottom. So that's quite nice. It does wobble as well, because it's got those shoe pieces on the bottom. That one makes more sense. You've got a small building here with a little woodcutter. So I think this is like the log store for the house. It's quite a sweet little build with all these little logs stacked up. And then inside you've got a whole bunch of tools clipped in there. Very dusty tools. He obviously doesn't get out there very often. Or, we just forget to dust the Lego. And then he's got that awesome chainsaw piece. I really like that. And he's got quite a good face as well. Nice bearded chap. Again, the same sort of torsos that you see on some of the other builds. He doesn't stand up very well whilst he's holding the chainsaw, so we put him on a little minifigure base. That helps. And you can see the story is in keeping with the actual main building. It's very similar, window features and things. So then you've also got deliberating which one to do next, but we'll go for the lady here. So she's got a little bucket. I'm not sure what she's meant to be doing with the bucket in the picture. I think the cat's jumping up to have a look in the bucket, so I don't think it would be full of milk. But cats are curious, aren't they? That's what they say. No alternative face there. And again, we've seen that torso before. And then hiding around the corner is another girl. She's present in hand. She's got the same hair that we've seen just in the Winter Village Market on the girl on the carousel. Nice corset back there. And there's 2 present builds in this set. And they're just simple stacked tiles. Yeah, a plate and a jumper plate and then a tile on top. Very simple. It comes with 1 vehicle. Little snow plough here. So I guess that's probably why there's an igloo, because it's all very snowy, this one. Little wing mirrors that seem quite fragile. They get knocked a lot. Not really sure what the back is, whether that's got room for, say, a tree to go between. Not really. So I don't really know what the back detailing is. Maybe some logs or something. I quite like the mud guards on here. They're quite nice. Oh, we've lost one of those on there. There's a chap inside as well. He's well stuck in there. Okay. So he's again the same sort of torso that you see in other sets. Little grey cap. Bit of stubble going on. Stick that back on. There we go. So let's get to the main build, the cottage itself. Give you a closer look. So there's that little cat that I was talking about. And we've got the lamppost build in here. This is very different to some of the other lampposts. Most of the lampposts seem to have like wreaths on them these days, little holly and things. But this one's got, I think, what I would describe more as a bow going on. And I quite like this one. It's quite sweet. Fits quite nicely on the corner there. So, let's have a look inside. Let's look at the outside first. So we've got really nice detailing, and I do love the blue colour. I think it's a nice burst of colour in the Winter Village. Sort of breaks up some of the red and green that's everywhere. Good windows. These ones actually open, unlike the Santa's Workshop. So you can let a little bit of frosty air in. One of the details I do really like is this little bell. You can't ring it, but gives the impression you can. You've got a nice sticker on the front door there, a little wreath. And you've got more of the bow detail on the windows and at the side as well that sort of matches that lamppost. A couple of trees around the side. And this is the little control for the light brick in this set. I didn't mention about the last two sets, the market and the Santa's Workshop, but I don't think either of those have got light bricks in. So it's not every Winter Village set that has them. On the top we've got the fairy lights. You can see this is yellowed quite impressively, unfortunately. So we may have to buy some new plates to re-whiten this. So the fairy lights are on grey grabbers in this set, which is better than the yellow of the Santa's Workshop, but still not that nice. So here's the back. Let's see if we can get a good view inside. So I did remove a small build of a little armchair. It's quite a cosy looking armchair. And that doesn't attach on, it just sort of slides around on the tiled floor quite a lot, so that's why I took him out. So inside we've got a fireplace. Here's that light brick. Two little stockings that sort of wobble on the fireplace. I'll pull this out. So small Christmas tree build here. A nice little star. That's actually a magic wand piece in there, which I think is quite sweet. And I approve of the amount of colour in this, because you've obviously got the blue as well as the red and yellow in there, so that fits quite nicely in there. But I'll leave it out for now so we can get a view of the other side in here. So I don't know if you can quite see in there. Little picture on the wall, kind of like a deer, I think it is, in a forest. It's quite sweet. And we've got quite a fancy light up the top here. It sort of swivels a bit. I don't think it's meant to move too much, but it's quite fancy. So then you've got a little kitchen downstairs, nice tiled floor on the kitchen. Some gold taps, cooker, some drawers. And then some more on the other side, sort of a couple more cabinets and things. And then the top we've got a little bedroom, just the one bedroom here. And it's got some toys on the floor, so we can assume this is one of the boys' bedrooms. This one, I think, it's not a great mini build, but I think it's meant to be a plane. It kind of serves its purpose, but I've seen better planes done. And there's the other present there. A couple of bits randomly on the floor. The bed itself is quite a good build. Looks pretty decent, nice and cosy. So a pretty decent build. No room for sort of parents or anything. So it's obviously a lonely little cottage. But then I guess cottages are meant to be small, aren't they? But it's just the fact that there's toys on the floor. I feel like the small child shouldn't live on their own, so there should be room for someone else. Or maybe, I like to play with Lego, which is a toy, so maybe it's just a fan of planes, a grown-up fan of planes. I think I like this build, but knowing that it was £90, I kind of feel like it's not as good, and it doesn't really bring any sort of extra to the winter village. You could live without this. You could just have it as a winter village where no one actually lives. You go there to get stuff, but this kind of rounds it off and says, right, this is someone's home. But if you've got just one home in the village, it's a little bit strange, isn't it? You need a couple more houses, and I guess you could adapt this and make different sort of colours of it, and add that in. But it's still nice, and I'm happy I've got it. So I'm back here with all three of the builds again. For getting it all on screen, I've ditched half of the Santa's Workshop. So these are the final three Winter Village sets that I have. At some point I do hope to pick up the post office and share that with you, but it's not going to be this year, unfortunately. Next week's episode will be the last one in our Winter Village series, and that will be a reveal of the downstairs layout for our Winter Village this year. So do check back for that, although I appreciate that it will be Christmas Day. So I'm not expecting anyone to tune in on Christmas Day, and I do hope that you have a very lovely Christmas. Thank you so much for watching this year, and I'm looking forward to a lot more videos in the future. So if you have liked this series, let us know in the comments below. If there's any questions you've got about the Winter Village, I'm happy to answer those. Any thoughts you've got on what you'd like to see from our channel coming up, that would be great if you could let us know as well. And also don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any updates, and we'll see you soon. See you later.